Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is a horror film from Japan, Japanese language English subs, released in the year 2010, directed by Sion Sono, and this film is called Cold Fish. So Cold Fish tells the story of a man who just remarried. His new wife is not well liked by his daughter, and his daughter is very rebellious. So this man, he owns a fish store, very likeable guy, but he's very gentle and a lot of people walk all over him. So the daughter is doing what she wants. One day she's caught shoplifting, so this guy and his wife go to the store that the shoplifting took place, and they are trying to convince the boss not to press charges, but the boss is absolutely furious. He believes that she'll do it again because she just doesn't care. And then all of a sudden, a mysterious man comes into the store, and he manages to convince this guy to drop the charges, and that he is going to offer their daughter a job. So this guy, a very strange man, and he's very full on. So he says to the couple, come to my store. He also owns an aquarium, and he says, I'm going to show you some really cool fish, and I'm going to basically show you where I'm going to put your daughter to work. So the idea is to make the daughter work in his store to try and put her on the straight and narrow. So the parents are very thankful for this, and they end up going back to this guy's store where the guy introduces the couple to his wife, who's a very quirky individual, but they see this couple as saviours. That is basically what the daughter needs. That is until the main character realises that their new friends are in fact serial killers. And these serial killers are going to teach the main character about life in the most brutal way possible. So this guy has now passed the point of no return, and his life is about to go from bad to worse very, very quickly. So he's going to try and keep on to his sanity, and then also try and find a way out of this situation, and at the same time protect the ones he loves. So whether or not he can do that, that's something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Cold Fish. Whoa, this is a very dark film, so be very careful going into it. If you're not accustomed to extreme violence and extreme horror, this movie is definitely not going to be for you, and you're going to basically be horrified by what you see. So in my opinion, Sion Sono has delivered another fascinating film after Why Don't You Play in Hell, which is something that really pleases me, because I didn't get a good start with Sion Sono. When I watched Himizu, that was the first film that I watched of his work, and I hated that movie. I thought that was just force-feeding crap, melodramatic rubbish that just went on for way too long. It was repetitive and it was very lazy. So after that, I was wondering whether or not I would ever like a Sion Sono film. So after Why Don't You Play in Hell, I really liked that movie. And then after Cold Fish, I just have a newfound appreciation for this director. I thought Cold Fish was a fantastic character study of a very gentle man, a very polite man, but it shows you in this world sometimes you need to be aggressive to get ahead. And this guy is gentle, he's very polite, but everyone is just walking all over him. And then when he meets this sinister couple, you start to think that this guy is starting to transform into someone that he didn't used to be. He's starting to lose all the values that made him a likeable person. And it does show you the power of violence, and not only violence in reality, but also violence in movies. You know, some people like PG rated films, but when they start to get used to very violent movies, they have a different taste. So it does show you how possessive violence can be, and how much violence can have a grip on someone and can transform them and make them do things that they never thought they could do. And that's exactly what Sion Sono allows you to see in this movie. It's just a very good guy being slowly corrupted, and his personality is corroding away, and it is just transforming, and it just feels like a car that is speeding, that it's lost its brakes, and eventually it's just going to crash. And you know when it crashes it's going to be gruesome, and that's exactly the thought you get in Cold Fish. I just thought that this is the disaster waiting to happen, and just the slow progression of the story was absolutely fascinating, and I loved every minute of Cold Fish. This is what horror films should do: shock you, but at the same time make you think about life, and make you think about the desensitization to violence and how corruptive violence can be. So the couple of the serial killers, this is actually based on a true story of a couple in Japan who really killed people who were dog lovers. In this movie it does have that story, but in this case they're fish lovers, and I really like the symbolisation of the fish as well. For me, I thought the fish in the tanks were like this guy's life. He was now caught in this tank, and he was being watched by this serial killer couple, and he didn't have any way out, and that this serial killer couple were controlling his every move. So it actually felt like he was the fish in the tank, and in fact the serial killer couple were just watching him and just basically making him do what they wanted. And so I love the serial killer couple. I thought they were just one of the most twisted and just bizarre couples in serial killer movies that I've seen. The script was fantastic. It made me laugh in some areas, but in no way is this a comedy. The characters were very quirky, the situations were very quirky, and overall it's just a film that you won't forget anytime soon. I thought the acting was fantastic. You know, the characters of the serial killers, they were a little bit exaggerated, they were a little bit crazy, and slightly takes you out of the realms of reality, but what keeps you grounded in reality is the main character. He's very, very relatable, and the reason why the movie works so well is because it's not forcing everything in your face straight away. This movie takes a good hour or so to get going, and that allows you to invest your time in the situation. It allows you to invest your time into knowing how this family dynamic is working. It gives you time to realise the amount of pressure that this main character is under, and then you start to suspect that he's found refuge in this new couple, and that the couple seem to be, you know, good intentions, and they seem to be a loving couple, and they seem to be genuine friends. But then all of a sudden, bang, something happens, and now it just completely disorientates you, and the movie takes a completely different turn. So that's what shocks you so much, is that you allow yourself to absorb into the story of what seems to be a fairly harmless sort of situation, but then all of a sudden it takes a turn for a deep and dark, disturbing ride that just hits you a lot harder than it would if it was a much shorter film. So it goes to 2 hours and 26 minutes, but I thought each and every minute was vital to the continuation of the story, and it's what made the movie as hard-hitting as it was. So there are some brutal acts of violence, there is some very gory scenes, and just the way that this serial killer couple go about their business was just horrifying. This is a true horror film, and it is yet another example of how good Sion Sono is. It is a movie about the desensitisation of violence and how corruptive violence can be, and it's just one man, a character study of one man who is just losing grip of the situation. It's way out of control, and he is just spinning into the people that he despises, basically. So yeah, as far as serial killer films are concerned, this is fantastic. I would highly recommend you go out there and check it out. There are some brilliant acting performances, there are some brilliant set pieces, and just a very dark and twisted tale. So overall, for Cold Fish, Sion Sono has made another fantastic movie. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.